Welcome to the second part of our presentation on web content. In the first part, we talked about how to plan effectively to collect and decide how you're going to present your information. Now we're going to look at some actual skills in terms of putting the content together. PowerPoint is a great tool for mocking up web pages. You can quickly align items, move things around, play with different fonts, and do that in a way that you could send it out to users and have them send you feedback on what works for them or what doesn't. If you're ever interested in mocking up web pages based on your plan that you created and your sitemap that we talked about in the first part, I would suggest PowerPoint as a quick tool for doing that. The main elements here to illustrate basic information design for the web are headings, main paragraphs or sort of default text, images, links, and then numbered lists and bulleted lists. Headings are really important because they help the eye sort of identify pockets of information and decide whether or not they're going to read further. Links are great because they take us to different pages or resources within our site or to external resources. Images give us that visual element and can really help us put sort of a picture to words. And then as far as links go, one of the main things is they're great as long as they take you somewhere that works. If they're broken, that's quite frustrating. So it's better to not have a link than to have obviously a link that doesn't work. So make sure you sort of frequently check up and fix links that are broken. Numbered lists and bulleted lists are another way to help the user work through the information you've presented. So what I'm going to do then is actually open up a tool that is very common for editing web pages. This one is a tool that we've implemented here at Peninsula College for doing faculty websites or department websites, and I put this together to illustrate sort of some of the basic tools that you can use. So we're going to jump right in and use this area here called the rich text editor or content editor. No matter what tool you're using, if you're using a content management system, you're going to have some sort of control like this. So it may not look identical, but it's going to have the core pieces that we're going to look at here. So to illustrate this, I'm going to create content based on that previous slide we looked at. And to do so, I recommend that you create sort of a page or the content for your page in Microsoft Word, since it's most likely already on your computer. And then you can, if you like to use Notepad, that's fine too. But the process here is that we're going to create our content and then import it into our web page editor. So Word does some special formatting, which makes it a little cumbersome to just copy this as it is and paste it. So the little trick I'm going to show you is to, once you've created your document and you want to make that a web page, go to, whether you're using Office 2007 or an earlier version, when you do a file save as, you can hit the save as type drop down list and find the web page filtered option. When you save a file as web page filtered, it's going to allow you to basically sorry, wrong thing. It's going to allow you to look at that web page in filtered HTML. So you don't have to know HTML, that's okay. But see, this is what when I saved it as HTML, it created this little HTML version of the document. So I'm going to open that with Notepad this time so I can see the actual HTML code. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to skip past all this stuff and I'm going to look for the beginning or opening body tag indicated by basically a less than and then body, and that's the same on every HTML page out there. There's only one opening body tag. So you're going to grab or select everything between the opening body tag and the closing body tag. Here's our closing body tag. So I'm going to make sure that's not a part of it. Then I'm going to Control C or right click and copy, and then I'm going to go over to our web page editor, make sure I'm in HTML mode, and then I'm going to paste that information in, and that's what I did to get this code in there. And again, don't worry, you don't have to deal with this unless you want to. Just hit update, and you'll see your information then in sort of a more comfortable, user-friendly format. So if you were starting from scratch, there's some other, you can type right in here. This is, let's do the classic hello world. And if we want to do bolding, we can highlight the section we want to make bold and click bold, italic, underline. We could select several lines and do a bulleted or numbered list by clicking on this, or numbered list. And then we can make words or text a link by finding the insert link button. So I just selected Hello World. I'm going to click Insert Link, and I want this to go to, so we want to type in the URL to where we want that link to take us. I want this to take us to Google. So I'm going to type google.com, and then I'm going to select the target as Open Link in New Window, because I want it to open a new browser and open the page there. Here, this title is actually the alternate text, so if someone mouses over or hovers over the link, they see a little information about where that link's going to take them. Then we just click insert, and voila, Hello World is now a link that takes us to Google. Okay, some of the other formatting is, if we want to do another heading, I'm going to just play around with these for you here. We can highlight something we want to make a heading, and we can come over to our format area and make that heading 1. Then I want to make this one a heading 2. And so as you see, this is allowing us to actually create our content and do it fairly easily without having to mess with HTML or anything like that. So most, like I said, whether you're using this exact tool or not, it doesn't really matter, because most content editors or website content management tools use these same basic functions. Okay, so let's look at a page that has some images, because that's a commonly abused thing, is basically putting in images that don't work for a website. Here's an image that's been appropriately resized. Now down below you see an image that's way too huge. That's just a raw image from my camera that I pasted right in, and it's too big. So I'm going to show you how to first upload an image to your site. This particular content management tool asks me to first browse to the photo, select it, make sure it's in this path here, and then click the upload button. So if I do that, then I get this massive photo, if it hasn't been resized, inserted into my web page. So to resize it and be friendlier to our users, if you click on the image, you see this little square or handle. You can use that to actually resize the photo. So I'm going to do that here real quick. To show that you can just quickly resize the photo. Now I've kind of messed this one up, but the point is that you can use these handles and resize your photo, save the page, and then go back and take a look, and you see now that photo is more appropriately sized. So those are the basics in terms of working with web content and creating web content for your website. So I've put together some resources for you, and those will be linked to, and I hope this helps you out. Let me know if you have any additional questions.